Now, you must know, or probably know, I love Barney. I have loved Barney ever since I could learn how to talk. And Barney's been a part of me for most, if not of all my life. And I'm going to talk about it. Where to begin? Yeah, I don't know exactly how I got into Barney, but all I know is I kept up with it. Barney is very important to me as a part of my life, and I knew there was something special about this character being in my life, and also how I grew up and where I grew up. And in this video, you're witnessing me watching a Barney live show. I went to Universal Orlando in 2019, me being 16 years old, seeing Barney, not only because I'm a fan, but this was the first and probably only time I will get to ever see a Barney show, since I haven't seen one when I was younger. And when the lights came up, I acted like I was 5 years old again. And I know that's odd because I was a teenager at that time. I'm 22 now, but this would be the only chance I would have gotten to see one of my favorite childhood characters live on stage. Because I went to see Sesame Street live all the time, but Barney was up there with one of my favorites, and I haven't got a chance to ever see Barney on stage. So this was literally my chance. And this particular show is at Universal Studios Orlando, and it's been there for years. But the year after I went, it closed down because of the pandemic, and then the attraction being old and outdated, and also attendance not going up. But Lord knows how much I care about this purple dinosaur. And I knew my mom had to do with a lot of why I love Barney. She gave me my first Barney doll, a lot of Barney stuff, and also I think she liked Barney too when she was younger. But yes, I love Barney. And I'm gonna tell you my story of Barney. So, you may be wondering why I have a Barney stuffed animal right here with me. This was supposed to represent one of the first Barneys I've had when I was younger. Now this particular one right here isn't the one I had when I was younger, but I had one that looked exactly like this. This was just a replacement that some nice people gave to me for Christmas one year. It had the heart, the I love you on it. I don't remember if he actually was this small. I remember him having a purple mouth. It looked exactly like this, and if you squeeze his tummy, he would sing the song, but batteries are out. This is a very old toy, but I had one just like this when I was younger, and probably the only Barneys I've had until I got older. I had a little bitty Barney, and I lost that, and then I had a Barney from a garage sale, and that got infested with mold a couple of years ago, and I couldn't keep that. And as years went on, I've been collecting more Barneys, but as the more Barneys I gotten, the less room I had in my own place. So most stuff, sadly, I had to get rid of, but I still have a few more Barneys in my room that I'm not going to get rid of. This being one of them. And what's special about the one I had when I was younger, which this was a replacement of, was that my mom gave me my first Barney, which was why I hold this deeply in my heart. So even as I grow up, I'm an adult now, but even as I get older, I'm still gonna keep this. When I get married, when I have kids, when my career is in the name of Jesus, all up to the top, and hopefully I do well, this Barney will still be here with me. as long as I can keep him. If I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what it is about this particular character that just makes me so happy, but it is. Um, so I'll just have him right here. So that way people will know what we're talking about or who we're talking about. So when I was younger, I obviously was obsessed with a lot of children's shows, but it was mainly two. It was Barney and Sesame Street. You done? Okay. So it was Barney and Sesame Street, and I liked Elmo. Elmo was my favorite character on Sesame Street, and I was obsessed with Elmo as I am with Barney. But for some reason, Barney just took the top. So in my favorite list of characters, Barney and Sesame Street are like right here. Barney's probably a little bit above Elmo, but yeah. Uh, I have a lot of, I had and I still do have a lot of Barney DVDs from seasons 3 to like all the way towards when Barney ended. I have the movie, I have Barney's Colorful World, which was a live stage show. And as I mentioned before, I haven't been to any Barney live shows. The one at Universal Studios was the only one I saw, unless nobody in my family is telling me anything about anything I went to see when I was younger. My grandfather said I went to see a Barney show when I was very small, but I don't recall ever going to see a Barney show when I was small. The only live shows I went to see were Sesame Street Live and a couple of other plays, and later on some musicals and stuff like that. And I went to see a Scooby-Doo live show, and I saw Disney on Ice. But other than that, Sesame Street Live, I would like I said, I'm a big fan of Sesame Street too. So I go see Sesame Street Live whenever I get a chance. Even as I got older, I still went to see Sesame Street Live. It's just that I didn't have a lot of chances to go see Barney on stage, even when I knew there was a Barney tour that was out, like Birthday Bash. I didn't even know it was even near our town. I didn't even know it was coming. But yeah, and one interesting thing, Barney, the show was done in Dallas, Texas. And I'm from, like, I don't live there anymore, but I used to live in that area. I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. And at that time, I didn't even know that Barney was was filming over there. You know how crazy my mind would have went if I knew Barney was in the same area that I was living? I didn't actually know until I got older. Because I knew I had some connection to Barney, I just didn't know what it was. So I keep seeing Barney everywhere. I went around Dallas, but I'm like, what is it about this character that I have this connection with? Well, there you go. I'm a fan of Barney, who used to live in the same city as the show was being done. But yeah, let's continue on. Now let's talk about the downfall of pretty much me. Not the downfall, but just the negative of me loving Barney, because being a Barney fan does come with its disadvantages. A lot of them, and this will hurt for a bit. Now, of course, I know there has been backlash or hatred that people had for Barney. That documentary explained it, and I think people hopefully turn around their hate for Barney and hopefully respect him now. With me, you know how many people came up to me and just said some awful stuff about Barney? Like, I, and you won't understand how much I'm sick of it. Like, you just don't go up to people and just start talking trash about the things they love. Like, you don't do that. And I don't care if you don't like Barney, you just don't go up to somebody and who loves Barney and just start talking trash about it. You just don't start saying awful things about things that people love. You just don't do that. Like, why? Like, how? See, this is how upset I get with this stuff. How would you like it if somebody did the same thing to you about the things you like? Like, seriously, think about it. There was a couple of friends I have who are cool with Barney, who don't really say much about me loving Barney, who thinks it's fine. Uh, they accept it, and most people ask questions, which I'm glad. But there are some people who are like, you can like other things, right? You can grab other interests. Barney's for kids, right? And your girl ain't gonna like that. I'm like, look. I understand I am an adult, and the age that I am is the age that I am. And I know I'm getting older, and I know Barney is for a younger generation. But keep in mind that I still love this character that is for a younger generation. So let me love Barney. I know it's weird that I am a grown man still obsessed with a kid's TV character. But I am still doing things that are for people who are my age. I just heavily like those things that for children because that is literally what my career choice and field and my whole life revolves around, since that is what I want with my life. I want to whatever makes kids happy and whatever brought me happiness as a child, that's what I want to do for a living and bring that same thing to today's kids. And the reason why I tied this into Barney is because Barney was one of those that made me very, very happy as a child. I don't know why I kept up with Barney as an adult, but or as I got older. Same thing with Sesame Street and Elmo, but I just did, and I still love it. I don't have any reason not to want to. I don't have any reason to not want to love Barney. Like, I want this character to live on like any of these other characters. I want this character to get respect because this character hasn't gotten respect that it should have. And I'm not forcing Barney on anybody who doesn't like Barney. I just want you to just understand Barney. That's all. Because people have a lot of these thoughts and these opinions about these children characters that doesn't make any sense and really isn't right at all. I could say any fact about the character, knowing people knowing I'm a fan of Barney, and they just brush it off aside. And then if I have a wife one day, I'm not gonna force it on her. Sure, I want her to respect me and respect the character that I love, and hopefully want to learn about it. And if she loves Barney, that's cool. If she doesn't, then I'm gonna have to live with that. But I just don't want her to be a jerk about it. Because I've dated a girl who hated Barney and was a jerk about it. I thought she accepted it, but obviously she didn't. So that's really all I want as far as that. Um, Barney has done so much for my life and for what and who I am, and many of the choices I've made of what I want to do with my life, to the point where someone is just going to bash Barney or at least just talk about Barney like that. Come on. But still, I am 22 years old as of this recording of this video. I am still a 22-year-old man who is doing 22-year-old man stuff. at least trying to. But this character will forever and ever stay in my heart for as long as this earth goes around and around and around. Okay, so uh those photos on the wall, at least that first one and that second one of Barney, the ones that are framed, not the big old poster with the Barney logo and stuff on it, but let me show you. This right here, since I lived in Dallas, came from someone who worked on Barney, and my grandmother knew this person because she worked with him, and she told this person that I love Barney. I think I was 2 years old at the time, and he came to the office that my grandmother worked at because I think he worked in the same area too, and gave me these photos. Except I didn't even know these photos were mine. I just saw Barney on our wall, and I just thought they were my mom's or somebody. You know, I didn't even know. I always wondered why we had these photos, because we had several posters. We had like Space Jam posters. We had several posters of just different things and different like properties, and somehow we just had this picture of Barney, and I always wondered where it came from. So now I do know. And I thought it was my mom's, but it was mine. So this photo was also from someone who worked for Barney, and same story, and this was just something I just ordered off of online. And the books were a friend of mine didn't want her Barney stuff anymore, so she gave them to me. Sweet little girl. And a lot of these toys were gifted to me. So a lot of Barney stuff I got were just gifted to me. I think there was one or two things that I actually bought. Now, another thing that I actually bought were these backpacks. So I used this during high school and I guess I could say college. Now with this, I saw a video of a Barney fan talking about this on a YouTube video, and I wanted this backpack to use for school. So one day I was on a trip to San Antonio with my aunt and uncle, my grandmother and cousins, going to SeaWorld, and we were going to see a Sesame Street show, and I met Elmo afterwards. But before we left, we were getting ready to leave, I saw a dude who looked like he was the same age as me. I was 15 at that time. I was getting ready to go to high school. He had this exact backpack that I wanted, and so I asked him about it, and I didn't even tell him I was a fan, and he told me about it. So as you can see, older people probably love Barney too. And I also found out about this one and got this one too. I think I use this one more than that one. Then I have at least 2 Barney shirts that I'm probably not going to try to find right now that are faded out, but I'm trying to get some more. And I walked around school with these backpacks and got like, man, I got famous sometimes off of not only the things I do, but also the backpacks I had. And people just asked about them. Like I had some guys try to get them and just try to say I'll buy it, and I'm like, nah. And then this cute girl came up to me, and she was like, hey, I like your backpack. Where did you get it? And I told her where I got it from. She was like, oh, okay, I love Barney. And I was like, okay, cool. So as you can see, Barney is still loved, people. Barney is still loved. The funny thing was that girl she didn't even know I was a Barney fan, which was funny why she said that. But I guess I'm gonna end the video off right here, and then we'll do a couple of clips. But before we end off the video, I just want to say that I am a performer, a costume performer, and of course we know Barney is a mascot character with a guy inside a suit, and also another guy doing the voice. And I always loved that type of entertainment and that type of work. So Barney is probably one of the main reasons why I want to do what I want to do for a living. Sesame Street Live, yes, but also mostly Barney is the reason. So if I can wear a big, hot, heavy costume and able to dance around it as great as I can, and the best way I can, and make children and people happy and performing, then that is a job well done, worth getting paid for. Even if I'm not getting paid for this type of thing, just the experience of just doing this and then seeing the looks on people's faces is more of a payday enough. But can you imagine just getting money to do what you love, just doing that type of work? And people look down on jobs like that. Mascot work is hard, y'all. Costume performing is no joke. You gotta know how to do it well. But that's also thanks to Barney. Now here's one thing I want to talk about, especially before we start to end this video. In 2019, I went to Universal Studios to see Barney, A Day in the Park with Barney show at Universal Studios. And I know that if I was going to Orlando, this would have been the only chance I probably would have got a chance to see the show and meet Barney. So as a 16-year-old getting ready to go into my sophomore year of high school, I went to this show. My aunt and uncle and my cousins and I went down to Florida, or in Orlando, but all of us couldn't go into the park, so my grandmother and I just went in. And I went to see the show. I gave Barney some photos or drawings after the show. I met BJ and Baby Bob, gave Barney a big hug, and I didn't realize how big he was, and I was waving at him a couple of times and dancing. And the people that worked there said if you had a good time, then you may get a chance to meet Barney privately. Well, not the workers, but someone that we knew told us that, because they took their daughter to see the show. So the people there saw I had a good time. So after the show, they told me to wait in the theater, and Barney and BJ and Baby Bob came out to meet me. And so I really had fun that day. And that was a dream come true. Thank you guys for listening and watching this. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.